This is how to improve your communication skills. Learn how to talk to anyone. Do you want to learn how to talk to anyone? We trust that you will learn the skill by the end of this video. Excellent communication skills are in high demand at all levels of our lives. It affects your relationship with everyone around you, and it becomes a valuable asset for your career prospects. This is how to improve your communication skills. 10. Practice self-awareness. Self-awareness is the art of recognizing your strengths and actions. It is defined as the ability to tune into your feelings, thoughts, and action. You will make an excellent communicator when you can determine how people view you and how your action impacts those around you. When you speak to people, claim your strengths and topics, themes, and words that you are comfortable with. Also, do not make people feel uncomfortable by saying things that are unnecessary or rude. You should always be the most emotionally intelligent person in the room. When you practice self-awareness, you will easily make better points and allow people to make their submissions. This way, your communication skills will be improved, and your interpersonal skills will also rank high in the books of the people you communicate with. 9. Don't make assumptions. One thing that breaks communication is assumptions. You would have better communication skills if you asked questions for clarification. You should make sure that you know what people want and tell them what you want also. Once you go ahead and say things without first understanding the other person, they feel neglected and start to act defensively. In that case, you have lost the chance to communicate effectively. It is also necessary that you state facts rather than use generalized terms to describe things. The best way to address anyone, whether verbal or nonverbal, is to be factual and concise. If you are telling someone about something they did wrong twice, don't use words like always and never. The tone of such words becomes exaggerated and hinders effective communication. 8. Speak up about your thoughts and ideas. When you have thoughts and ideas, you should not bottle them up. You will improve your communication skills by constantly practicing. When you have anything to add to the meeting, ask for the chance to speak and then voice your additions. When you do this, you must remember to be self-aware and stay away from assumptions. In written communication, like an email chain, you should not be afraid to contribute to the discussions. Making mistakes is natural, and when you do, you must be willing to learn and become better. That is what practice makes perfect means. Nobody who became an effective communicator, whether to groups, one-on-one, or writing, did by not practicing. The only way to determine that someone has good communication skills is by hearing or seeing them do it. So start practicing. 7. Record yourself talking. Still on the practice train, here is another trick to improve communication. Maybe yours is not only that you are not sure what to say, but you have a speaking challenge as well. It could be a diction problem or a shake in your voice due to fright. You can combat this impairment by practicing on your own. You should use your phone or any recording device to record yourself speaking. Play it back to yourself when you are done, and think of all the places you could make adjustments. If some of the words don't sound right, you fix it. If you are speaking too slow or fast, you learn to perfect that. The recording should be your judging tool until you have perfected your verbal communication skills. If you want someone to listen and give you feedback on your sound, that could also work, but it should be someone who will tell you the truth. 6. Be an active listener. Communication does not start and end with you. The act of communication is described as giving, receiving, and sharing information. So the give and share is not the only part you should perfect. You need to be a good receiver of information as well to complete the communication cycle. When you have the chance to listen to someone speak, you should listen attentively. Your goal should not be to have an answer, but to understand what they are telling you. Listening to respond is one of the most common poor communication styles. Since the end of the communication is decoding information, you should master that too. In written communication, you should read carefully and understand the various meanings that a single message could hold. On the plus side, actively listening will also help you pick notes on how a skilled communicator delivers information. 5. Manage your emotions. Every good communicator can manage their emotions. Not allowing your emotions to flood the whole process of your communication is key to improved skill. It would be best if you learn to meditate or find distractions to mask your emotions from those receiving information from you. So if you are in a difficult conversation where the emotions are running high, not losing control of your emotion makes you a good communicator. Take control and express your frustration through channels that are healthier and more contained. Refusing to name-call, hurl insults, or speak aggressively are all ways that distinguish a good communicator from one who is not. When you are not sure that you can communicate with the emotions at play, stay silent. A good communicator is also one who knows when not to communicate. 4. Improve your soft skills. Soft skills are also called non-technical skills or interpersonal skills. Those are the skills that are often asked at an interview after your experience in technical capabilities. Your soft skills could include creativity, integrity, critical thinking, adaptability, teamwork, open-mindedness, empathy, and willingness to learn. These skills are as necessary for your career as they are in your relationships. When you decide to become a better communicator, you have to work to improve these skills. The more advanced you are in these soft skills, the more you will communicate effectively. It is basic knowledge. If you have these qualities, they will precede everything you decide to communicate. Your inability to hold yourself accountable for these skills will reflect in your communication both verbally and non-verbally. It does not take much to point out someone who lacks basic human decency like empathy and integrity. Whatever you say will be worthless. 3. Master nonverbal communication. We have mentioned nonverbal communication many times, and it is time that we emphasized its relevance. There are 10 types of nonverbal communication, but the summary is that it is communicating without using words. You communicate to someone through artifacts, appearance, eye gaze, facial expressions, gestures, body language, touch, and many more. To be a good communicator, you should be able to use and understand these forms of communication. Sometimes the tone of your voice is even a point of communication. When you become proficient with interpreting and using nonverbal communication, it sums up how your communication skills have been perfected. In speeches and small groups, your use of nonverbal communication can help people understand you better. People pick up on things like body language and facial expression, whether it is intentional or not. If you are saying one thing and your gestures tell a different story, it is normal for people to take your nonverbal communication over your words. 2. Adjust to feedback. People can also express themselves to a communicator through their nonverbal channels. If you want to improve your communication skills, then you should learn to accept feedback. When you speak, please pay attention to whether people are nodding or shaking their heads. The apparent difference in these two reactions will help you adjust and do the right thing. If people are nodding, it means that you are doing something right. And the opposite goes for people shaking their heads. You can pick up on these signs and change the course of your speech. If people look bored and are yawning, that is one thing for you to work on. You adjusting your tone and making the conversation more interesting will improve your skills. 1. Be clear and regular. The best way to improve your communication is to make it regular. If you are sending emails, update people on a consistent and regular basis. If it is meeting up with them and speaking to them, do it often. We have established the impact of practicing your communication often. Regular communication will make you more in sync, and you are more likely to naturally flow when you do it several times with the same people. You must also be clear when you communicate. Using fancy words and jargon that isn't very clear will only set you back on the aim of the communication. You need to be clear and straightforward if you want people to appreciate your communication skills. Learning to communicate is an integral part of everybody's maturity. At a point, you will realize that although you have been speaking to people all your life, you may still need to sharpen your communication skills in professional and personal engagements. The golden rule is to be open to new information and alter your perceptions about what communication is accordingly. Do you think you can talk to anyone? Where do you find your weakness in communication, and how are you going to rectify it? Please tell us in the comments below.